Joining me now, House Judiciary Committee Chair Jim Jordan. Congressman, you laid out for Republicans today where the Biden impeachment investigation stands. What can you tell us clearly so the people watching tonight can understand?
Well, there's so many facts that warrant going to this phase of our constitutional duty to do oversight, and that's why the Speaker did. I find it interesting that this announcement from David Weiss comes 2 days after the Speaker announces we're opening an impeachment inquiry. I find that there's been all kinds of those kind of coincidences that have happened along the way. But I think what happened today with David Weiss, this was an attempt to save face. Because remember the context here. First, there was going to be no charges against Hunter Biden. Then it was the sweetheart deal they take to the judge that the judge declines. And then they say, oh, the person who presided over all that, 4.5 years and all that, we're going to make that individual the special counsel. So, of course, he has to do something. And he does this. I think it's largely a distraction from the bigger potential issues here, which is the FARA issue and, of course, the felony tax concerns and the statute of limitations that they let run. So you have all that. We're going to look into it. We're going to do our duty. We're going to be driven by the facts and the evidence and the Constitution.
And I'm going to say this again, foreign policy.
Yeah.
Our foreign policy, it raises the question, have any decisions been made that would not have been made had this connection between Hunter and top Chinese officials, top Ukrainian officials not have existed?
Think about the Ukrainian officials, Burisma. There are four key facts here that I think just sort of capture this all. The first is Hunter's put on the board of Burisma. Second, he wasn't qualified to be on the board of Burisma. Third, the people in Burisma say, hey, we need help with D.C. to get the pressure this prosecutor is putting on us. Fourth, Joe Biden goes to Ukraine and gets the prosecutor fired. And he uses our tax dollars. He leverages our tax money. The people of the 4th District of Ohio that I represent leverages their money to get that done. And when he did it, it was an abrupt turn from the policy of the Obama administration. And frankly, what he did is consistent with the 1023 form and what the confidential human source said took place. So if that doesn't warrant opening an impeachment inquiry, I don't know what does. And then you add to that the layer of how the Justice Department has handled this case for 4.5 years. I think we have to investigate. That's our job.
Subpoenas. Did more go out today? And
yeah.
If so, to whom and what for?
More attorneys at DOJ. We've done 13 just related to this between Chairman
attorneys
Smith.
Who did?
Well, these were attorneys who were part of the investigation, Hunter Biden investigation, and particularly that meeting that took place on October 7th, 2022, that the whistleblower, Mr. Shapley, said was the red line meeting where he realized there is no fixing this. I'm going to have to go forward and talk about how this case was handled. So we want to talk with people in that meeting and others associated with it. I think it's 13 in total between Chairman Smith, Chairman Comer, and our committee that we want to talk to. We've talked to 3 already, the 2 already in our committee, and a couple more that have been talked to by Chairman Smith.
Now, Mitt Romney has spoken out on this impeachment inquiry. You know, he's announced his retirement. He did his big feverino about how populism is dangerous and we need to go back to the old ways, I guess when Republicans lost everything. But this is what he said about the impeachment issue.
House is beginning an impeachment inquiry. I haven't heard any allegation of something that would rise to the level of a high crime or misdemeanor. I think it'd be very unusual to actually see a referral of impeachment. I don't expect that to happen. They can inquire and see if there's evidence that shows something else. I don't think they'll find that.
But he votes to impeach Donald Trump over January 6th because what evidence was that Trump said to go peacefully?
And also one of the issues on the first ridiculous impeachment, which here's the ultimate irony, they impeached President Trump saying he leveraged American tax dollars to get a policy preference thing done in Ukraine, which he didn't. But that's what they impeached President Trump over. And now we have Joe Biden engaged in the very same thing. That is to me is the great irony here. So evidence. 10% for the big guy. No one has disputed that the big guy is Joe Biden. 50% for Pops. You can just go. The brand, according to Devin Archer, Hunter Biden's business partner, the brand was in fact Joe Biden. Multiple Bidens receiving money, multiple companies set up, multiple times the White House has changed their story on this whole situation. So on and on it goes.
As a friend of mine said the other night, is also a very prominent lawyer, said, look, if this stuff is true, this is much bigger than Watergate. I mean, selling U.S. access, influence for money for your family member, who's the closest family member to you other than your wife.
Dinners, phone calls, and meetings.
Is that Is that not?
That's why we've moved to this phase of our investigation. That's why I think it was appropriate to do so, and that's why the Speaker announced it 2 days ago. And I think it's interesting that 2 days later you get this. Maybe there's no rhyme or reason to why it happened 2 days later, but there's been a number of those kind of things that have happened close together.
Congressman, thanks for coming in tonight. Great to see you.